Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris. How y'all doing today? Hope you're doing good. Hope you guys doing well. I'm getting a show for you. Now, before we get started, I do have to ask everyone to remain seated through the whole show. You shouldn't have anybody up against the glass, okay? I work with every alligator that you see in here. Each one of these guys does 1 or 2 shows a day, so they all take turns, don't get stressed or anything like that. Now, the largest alligator that we have in here is a really huge guy. He's in the water over there. He's a base one at 10 feet, like 400 pounds. Now, unfortunately, I'm not here to show with him, though, because he's like 10 feet and like 400 pounds. You're going to make do a whole lot, but I will show you him, okay? So let's come over here, and we can check him out for a second. So he's right over here. Now I'm going to lift his head up for a moment so you can be able to see him, okay? So here, watch closely, right over here. Very big guy. There he is. That's our big guy right there. Now, as you can see, he is famous for his blinding speed and aggression. Now, he's a big old sweetheart. He's really not that bad. It's just that size he's so big, I can't physically make him do anything. And try not to look so visibly disappointed I did not just die in there. Now, being that he's so big, a lot of people ask how old is he or how old is that one or that one. The truth is, I have no idea. There's actually no way to tell the age of one just by simply looking. There's no external characteristics, size or measurement won't tell you. That's why we just simply cut him in half and count the rings. And of course, guys, look, it's going to be a long show full of bad jokes. Get ready. Now, really, though, there is no way to tell their age. Their size depends upon diet and environmental factors, not on how old they are. He could be 25, he could be 75. You'd have no idea about looking. And some records in captivity claim to have alligators over 100 years old, so they're very long-lived. Now, here again, they feed these guys. We're out checking other kinds of meat, but in the wild, they're opportunistic hunters. Like to eat things like raccoons, turtles, fish, birds, and of course, your favorite, tourists. Yeah. I'm kidding, of course. Attacks on people are really rare. Everyone thinks out to get you, but if you just do the math, there's over 1 million alligators out here. If they really want to eat people, you'd have people dying every day. Instead, we get more people killed annually by vending machines and by alligators. Which is not a bad joke, it's actually real. More people get angry, they can't get a soda or a candy bar. They shake the machine, it falls down and crushes the guy. More often, people get killed by those things, which says everything you need to know about alligator aggressiveness and human intelligence. Now for your show, let's go ahead and grab a hold of one. That guy just did a live show, so we'll leave him there. And we're going to grab one of these guys up and out of here for you all to be able to see. Right. There we go. Now, like I said, guys, do have to take turns, so let's go ahead and see this one right here. Probably grab him. Come here, buddy. Okay. Easy, that's that powerful tail right there, guys. Alright, now, usually when I carry out an alligator that's bigger than I am, people clap cheers. Anybody out there, guys? That's a live shot, like a live audience. This big guy here is like 8 feet and almost 200 pounds, so if you want a picture, do me a favor. Hurry up. Now we're going to set him down here in the sand, and let's grab a hold of these jaws nice and carefully. Easy, buddy. Hold on. Okay, now take a look in there. Ooh. Now there are 80 teeth in there, guys, 40 top and 40 bottom. Now, oh yeah, he does bite. Yeah, he'll rip your hand off, okay? I'm going to say 80 teeth in there, and they can actually break the teeth off, grow them back, and they cycle through several thousand teeth in a lifetime, which comes in handy because of how hard they bite. A large gator can bite down with an entire ton of forces in that mouth, 2,000 pounds per square inch power. You all may not look impressed with that number. Yeah, think about it, 2,000 pounds. That's the power that would snap any bone in your weak fragile human body and crush your skull like a potato chip. If you were not impressed by that, it is because y'all are on the wrong side of the glass. Now, even though they bite down so hard, whoa, hold on. Let's see. Now, even though they bite down so hard, you can hold the jaw showing a bare hand, as you can see me doing right now. All that power they have is for closing, very little for opening. So if you're ever about to be attacked by one, remember, you don't have to run away, simply turn around. Wait for it to try to bite you, grab the jaw, you'll do great. You want to run for your life, guys. Now, we have all these alligators in here for a reason, though. We're actually an alligator rescue, and these are all considered to be nuisance gators. Now, a nuisance gator is one that shows up in the backyard, swimming pool, eat fluffy, stuff like that, right? Now, once you see somebody's dog, they send out a trapper to capture and kill the alligator, unless the dog was like a Pomeranian, to let him go. That's fine. Unfortunately, though, the state of Florida does kill several thousand nuisance gators a year, which is very sad. It's not their fault. It's usually a nuisance person that causes a problem, and by that I mean people that feed them. Once you feed him, they'll learn to associate you with food, you'll have food, you our food. That's why it gets a lot of freedom. Now we do it here. We do shows with these nuisance gators instead of him being turned into a suitcase or a pair of boots, which you appreciate that, right, Big Ed? Yes. That's why we're considered an alligator rescue, because every gator that you see in here would have sadly been destroyed if they were not here thus. Now, we're also very fortunate. We work with one of the only committed non-kill gator trappers around. I work under him and rescue these guys out of people's backyards myself. Actually caught one of them on somebody's front doorstep at 4 in the morning. Like, imagine going to leave for work early, sun's not even up, open your front door, and surprise, that thing is sitting on the welcome mat. That is literally what happened to this family. Now, thankfully, I was able to safely capture and rescue that gator. Now, again, I say the word rescue, though, because if a different trapper shows up, they just simply shoot the alligator. And the reason behind that is, as nuisance gator trappers, we don't get paid money to catch a gator. The gator itself is the payment. Because the state of Florida, if they paid you money and they ripped your arm off, you sue for liability. So the state says we don't pay you crazy people, we're not responsible. Your payment is the body of the gator, so the only way a trapper makes money is killing him and selling the meat and the hide. That means the meat group that I work with are the only ones dumb enough to work for free. Yeah. Now, really though, we volunteer our time unpaid to rescue them out of backyards and bring them to sanctuaries like this instead of killing them for a profit. Now, the state does not allow the release or relocation of nuisance gators back out there due to their homing ability. And what that means, even if you took him 100 miles away and dropped him off, give him a month, he'll go back to the same backyard he was caught from. And read the Earth's magnetic field to find their way. That's why they're recognized as such amazing navigators. Now, if you want to learn more about the rescue, what we do and how we save them, check out the TV show we used to film here called Gator Boys on Animal Planet. I'm one of the guys who's on the TV show. Hey. Now, gator wrestling is not like wrestling in a ring. Like, I don't have arthritis on him. It's actually techniques used by the native tribes of Florida, and one of the maneuvers is hold the jaws shut between your chin and your chest, allowing your hands to be free, take out a rope, and then tie the jaws shut. Which sounds like a horrible, dangerous idea, because it is, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to hold the jaws underneath my chin, and it makes a cool looking photo, and I give you a thumbs up out to the side. If it does go horribly wrong, switch your camera from photo to video. Here we go, very carefully. Oh, maybe not. Hold on, he wants to get a little crazy here. Easy, big fella. Okay. Nice and easy. Hold on, guys. Now, when he's shaking like that, he's trying to bite me. You have to use the strength of your hand to hold the jaw closed, and he's actually trying to pop my grip right now and bite me in the hand, okay? That's why when he shakes around like that, it doesn't look like much. If I do it right, you guys can't even tell what's going on, right? But from my point of view, it's like, because he's trying to hold on, man. He's trying to pop your grip and bite you, okay? So let's see if we can do this very carefully. Appreciate that overwhelming enthusiasm. It was like, I think that might have been 8 people clapping. Thank you so much. Oh, there's some pity clapping too. Thank you. Now, here's the biggest question we get all day long, though. Why are they all attacking me? Why aren't they more aggressive? How am I still alive? And why do y'all look so disappointed I'm still alive? Now, most people are probably thinking, well, you must have just fed them. That must be why. And you literally could not be more dead wrong. Feeding them is actually the most dangerous part of my job. Feeding them does not make them calm and happy. It creates a feeding frenzy. When I feed them, it's the last thing I do for the day. And then I go home. I don't go back in here. I go home nuts. Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but I feed my dog and he loves me, why would they be the same? Because does that look like your dog? He doesn't think or act like a dog does. He sees you as the food. You got food with you. That's great. You get to bring a side dish with you. Now, when he first comes up from the wild, he is very defensive, though, and he'll try to kill me, so he thinks I'm going to kill him, and he's afraid of me, so he defends himself out of fear. Once they realize I'm not going to hurt him, we do an animal-friendly show. He's a lot more calm, relaxed, and he tolerates a lot of this because he knows I'm not going to hurt him. Now, they also know, more importantly, that if any of them try to mess with me, I'll pick that one for the show instead. We're going there. I work with every one of them, and they know I'm the guy that does the show. That's when I'm walking around, I step next to them, they keep their heads down. I'm like, don't pick me, bro. Now, that does not make them tame or trustworthy. Very important to understand. They only respect you so far as they think they have to. If you trip and fall, your hand slips, or he thinks he can creep up behind you, he will, and he will take you down. At least once a day when I'm walking in the water, one of them will try to bite me in the leg. If you're not quick, you're not paying attention, he would rip my leg off, eat it in front of me, and not think twice or bad about it. Some of y'all look surprised, like, oh my God, they really would? Yes, because that's an alligator, not a Labrador. There's never a bond, never a friendship. He's never my pet. He's a wild animal. I love him. He does not love me, and yes, they all bite. In fact, this guy did bite my old boss before. That's why he's my favorite. Oh. Now, right behind the eyes are the ears. They can seal off their ears, their nostrils, and the back of the throat. Although they live in the water, they don't breathe underwater, but they do hold their breath an amazing 6 hours at a time. Now I've got one more trick I'm going to show you. Then before I do it, I want to say about myself, so you don't think I'm just some crazy redneck and how it looks. Actually, I have a bachelor's degree in environmental studies from FIU Miami, so I'm an educated redneck, thank you. I work with all kinds of animals, not just gators, and I'm also active in research here in the Everglades. We go and we catch gators, crocs, and pythons as part of ongoing monitoring projects for the university. Now, I love to research and do my part to help save the Everglades, but makes no money, which is why I risk life and limb for the entertainment of complete strangers mind the job. Now, the catch with this kind of job is obviously very dangerous. And due to the danger factor, I'm technically not an employee of the park, that we have not on their insurance, so if he did rip out my hand, nobody's actually responsible. And I just get a get well soon card. Like, no, for real, that is literally the healthcare plan here. Due to liability, I'm not an employee of the park, I'm an unpaid volunteer, so if you guys rip off my hands, 100% on me. So if you do enjoy the show, have fun, learn about gators, and like the fact that we already rescued and saved these guys, I greatly appreciate the little tip jar / hand replacement fund at the end. And the last thing I'm going to say is don't try this on your own. I know I make it look very easy, and I'm kind of comfortable with him, not because it's safe, but because I've handled gators since I was like 10 years old, and I'm what they call desensitized and mentally unstable. Don't try it on your own. It does take one slip, you lose life or limb, and I feel very lucky I've never had a bad accident, but I have had friends that did. I had one friend get bit in the hand during a show, the gator shook, death rolled, snapped his arm in half. Seriously. I had another friend get bit in the upper arm, gator death rolled, ripped the bicep muscle off the bone, ate a chunk of his arm. They almost died. Now, I don't say that to be dramatic. I'm not trying to scare you. I don't want you to be afraid of them. But I know it may look so easy that people forget it's a powerful predator. Never try this or approach them. Now, as you can see, they're not aggressive. They're not out to get you. They're not going to chase you down. When people feed them, swim in their habitat, or try to handle them, that's how people get hurt or killed. Leave them alone. They'll leave you alone. Now, we're going to do our last trick with him to try to impress you guys. That's what we call the face-off, because if I mess up, the face comes off.
Oh.
I'm going to open up the jaws, and I'm going to set my chin on the edge of the open jaw, balancing the jaws over my chin. Now, if anything touches inside the mouth, boom, the jaws will slam shut as a reflex for the alligator. Nothing stops the jaws from closing. So let's open up the jaws very carefully. Whoa, easy, buddy. Yeah, yes, sir. Close it to my arm. That's no joke right there. I mean, that is a fraction of a miscalculation. He's got your arm. Now, most of the show is a lot of bad jokes, and I want you to laugh. This is not a joke, guys. This is very dangerous. You saw that snap, and if I mess up, I'll lose my head. So before I do it, I want some motivation. You guys enjoy the show? All right, here we go. Nice and carefully. Sketchy at the end there, huh? Now, hey, let me finish. What do you think this is? This isn't a high school? You take your socks off and you start packing your stuff up? Guys, have some respect. I almost got my head bit off. People are like, yeah, okay, we saw that. Alright, now what we're going to do for you all is we're going to take our baby alligators, we're going to cool animals for you guys to check out. Now, if you enjoyed the show and you want to write a good review, again, my name is Chris. If you don't like the show, my name is Bob. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be sending you strategically by my tip jar to Carter to Venmo. Cash it out. You enjoy the show and have fun?
Yeah!
We're going to exit out right this way, and then right back here for the baby gator photo. Thank you.